time for the opening drive.
Voted the best sports show in New Mexico
For 5 years running. It's the OD and the AM with Jeff Symbieta and JJ Bach.
Thanks, but no thanks. Stay right here. Sunbelt is Fun Belt, says Texas State. Pitching wins the day in day one of the Major League Baseball playoffs. And a really interesting name on the market in the National Football League. What's up, boys and girls? And Merry Wednesday. It is Wednesday, right? Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. How you living?
What it do?
All right. Interesting day yesterday. Told you by the time we were hit today, we'd have more news on conference realignment. We got it yesterday afternoon. Texas State, yeah, we're good, man. No thanks. Stay in the Sun Belt. $5 million out or exit fee, and they figured, no, let's figure it out. I don't know if they're just waiting to get the call from the Pac-12, which may come. I don't know if they just want to stay where they are, go to the American, whatever it is. But JJ, they said no, and it's on to the next, whomever the next is. It can't really be Tarleton State because you won't have enough, will you? Well, would Tarleton State count towards your 8, even though they weren't a full, during the transition, if that's where they end up?
Well, don't they have
2 years?
4 years at this point?
4, yeah. I honestly, I don't know the answer.
Because if schools don't leave until 2026,
Yeah.
is that when you get 2 years and then, yeah.
I'm not going to tell you this surprises me. I didn't think this was a done deal. I think that there's a lot out there for Texas State. And it's funny how, funny is not the right word. Irony might be the word, or, I don't know, sickingly, I don't know, disgusting, crazy, that the darlings end up being, you go from, well, Utah State's the darling, and then it's UNLV and Air Force, and now it's Texas State, or it was UTEP, and who gets, who's the next linchpin in what goes on. I mean, I don't know if most of you before 2 days ago knew where Texas State was, let alone what Texas State was, let alone what league Texas State was in. But all of a sudden, a emerging program in a desirable area of Texas became a linchpin when there's two leagues that need bodies. Basically, I mean, they need content to fulfill their minimum requirement, right? And so Texas State became this, and I think they still are, and I got to believe the Pac-12 is going to call, I'm sure they have already. But Texas State's talks with the Mountain West Conference ended, and the school, Texas State, told their current conference, the Sun Belt, that they will not be leaving. They did get a verbal offer. Their president came out and said, we've got interest from another conference, and we're going to stay where we are. It would have been a $5 million exit fee. I don't think this is surprising. I think it's certainly a setback, and it's another reality check for the Mountain West. It's not a no-brainer. If you would have invited Texas State as you were previously constructed, maybe you get a different answer with Boise State and San Diego State and those schools in there. Surprised you at all?
I can't say I'm surprised. There's factors that the schools that you're looking at, a lot of them are in good positions, and the Mountain West, as constructed, as you laid out, isn't a no-brainer to jump to right now. Now, the UTEP one makes more sense than the other ones, just geographically and what they've been wanting to do versus their travel, but some of the other ones, it's not kind of right.
Well, UTEP wasn't getting a call, I don't think, from the Pac-12. Texas State may. And again, you can have your opinion on Texas State, really? Like that, you didn't want to play with New Mexico, but you want to play with Texas State? Like, you can have that conversation. I think that's real, right? Who's a better program? Who's got better facilities? Well, it sounds like they put a lot of money into their facilities. But this is a kick. So now where do you go? And I know Aggie fan, you're down there saying, right here is where you go. But I don't even know that they've gone there yet. To my understanding, New Mexico State still has not had a substantive conversation with the Mountain West Conference. And I don't know that they will. So where do you go now, dude? Texas State said no. Is it all FCS? Is it Tarleton? Is it I know people are screaming the Dakotas and Montana, and does that do you? You obviously want a stronger hold in Texas. You said yesterday, Sam Houston. That might be the next spot, right? Yesterday, Sam Houston is a program that is just outside of Houston, that has had some success, that is a 4-1 football team this year, that is, I mean, they beat Rice. Rice is a team that their only loss is UCF. They beat Hawaii. They beat New Mexico State. They beat Texas State, that team that just turned you down. Is that where you go next?
The answer to that question is yes. You got to start lobbing those phone calls.
Yeah.
And then have the discussions with your conference. What makes sense? Where do you want to try to go? What can you package together in your future media rights negotiations in 2 years? Because it's at a point where the Mountain West is in survival mode and is not in winning mode. And a lot of people are screaming that now it's so easy. Gonzaga went to the Pac-12. St. Mary's is going to come to the Mountain West. No. Right now, the Pac is going to get whatever they want. And you're going to get the scraps. And so if there's a phone call, if there is Grand Canyon, St. Mary's, if they really want to build the basketball brand, they're going to the Pac and they're not touching the Mountain West Conference.
Unless they don't get into the Pac, right? And I agree with you. The Pac, the addition of Gonzaga was huge for them yesterday. Huge. Now, still number-wise, they're hurting in regards to football, and they're going to have to fill out their roster as well. And where are they going and where are they not going? And I don't know what their options are. Like, I think there's still a belief out there that Tulane and Memphis are going to end up there. And I'm not certain. I don't believe that. They will get to the number, whatever it happens to be. And will they help out Memphis? I mean, Memphis made it pretty clear. You make me a better offer, we're going. Well, I'm not going for that offer, but make me a better offer and we'll go. So, yeah, that's where the Mountain West is. I thought Eric Harper's reaction, he's the athletic director at UNLV. And JJ, where was he speaking on this yesterday?
This was in the ESPN story that came out. They pretty much just dove into the week that was for UNLV last week. UNILV?
Yeah. Which I find very funny. What a week for UNLV. I know Eric Harper a little bit. I'm not going to say we're buddies. I've met him a number of times, had many conversations with him. I like Eric. And I can hear a lot of this coming from him. He was asked his reaction when those original 4 schools, San Diego State, Boise State, Colorado State, Fresno State, announced that they were leaving the Mountain West, and he wasn't on that text chain. He wasn't on that group text. And I'm going to guess Eddie Nunez might have been the same way if he was here, right? Eric Harper said, quote, immediately, it was, where'd that come from? Tell me what decisions were made to include those 4 and not us. And I'm not saying we would have jumped on the first wave. Don't get me wrong. And so in the story, Adela De La Torre, who's the university president at San Diego State, explained it. That she said that there were metrics by the Pac-12 that were objectively used to determine, quote, the best 4 selected. And Harper said, quote, I'm like, what are metrics? Based on what I understand, we're a Research One institution. We got some recent success in football performance. We sit in a top 40 market. We have donor support. We have community support. We're in the sports entertainment capital of the world. Explain to me how some of those other schools can compare. If we try to read between the lines, the message I got is, we're not good enough. I'm sorry, but I do believe we are, end quote. I think he handled that perfectly. I don't know what you think of what he said, but I think throw in we play in an NFL facility. There's a lot more for him to throw in there. I think he handled it perfectly.
Yeah, I think it really does kind of solidify what we've heard from those that were left behind in this, and the fact that there was really nothing anyone else was going to be able to do. And I've seen it too, when people saying, this was such a swing and a miss for the Mountain West. How could they let this happen? This was going to happen. Like, just with Oregon State and Washington State, like, they took help from other conferences and then went and destroyed those conferences. Like, they had one goal, and it was to rebuild the Pac-12 the way they wanted to. And they got it accomplished.
And they had a bunch of money with which to do it.
Because you look at, they had an Olympic sports agreement with the West Coast Conference, took their best team. Had a football scheduling agreement with the Mountain West Conference, took their best programs. Like, there was I don't see any way the Mountain West could have avoided and or handled this situation better.
Well, especially when those institutions made it very clear, and I can't tell you how many times I've heard bottom feeders and dragging down over the last week in reference to New Mexico and Wyoming, and I mean the teams that are left behind, right? And unfortunately, UNLV's in that, unfortunately from their perspective. I look at it, man. All these years of football futility hurt you. It just did, because this market should be there as well. But this is where you are. You go on and you build as strong as you can. And look, man, there's been conference alignment before. Teams have been left behind. Teams have left and formed their own thing. I mean, the Mountain West did it. In New Mexico, you were part of it back 26 years ago when the Mountain West was formed. And you left 8 other institutions behind and kind of, well, deal with it, right? And unfortunately, you're on the other side this time. And a lot, there's other members of that group who are with you. Wyoming's with you. UNLV's with you on that. Air Force. It's miserable. But so now where do you go? And Texas State said no. So you got to figure it out. And we'll watch it and it'll move. Meanwhile, Gonzaga's in the Pac-12. All right, lots to do today. Let me give you phone numbers to get in. 505-246-0610. 505-246-0610. Your emails come in. Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com. JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. We're on the X. It's _JJ Buck. On the Facebook, the OD in the AM. You can watch the show. We're live on our Facebook page, the OD in the AM. You can watch the show on Comcast Channel 26 or Xfinity Channel 26 throughout the state of New Mexico and on the YouTube channel for ProView Networks. John Traub's going to be with us at 9:30, the general manager of the Ice Soaps. Looking forward to catching up with him. Boy, baseball was interesting yesterday, huh? Pitching. Let's see how deep everybody's pitching is. But who was the best yesterday? Some great performances as the baseball playoffs got underway. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks. Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I'm David C. Chavis, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
For doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
A tough one to pick. Tarek Skubal, Tigers. I mean, he'll be the unanimous choice for American League Cy Young. 6 innings, scattered 4 hits, struck out 6. Tigers beat the Astros 3-1. Or Cole Raggins, 6 shutout innings, 80 pitches. Royals beat the Orioles 1-0. Or Michael King of the Padres, who struck out 12 and 7 innings in his first ever postseason start. He's the first pitcher to have 12 strikeouts with no runs and no walks allowed in his first postseason start, like first ever. Kershaw, Koufax, and like none of those guys. Who was the best as the Tigers, Royals, Padres, and Mets all win games 1 yesterday? It's hard, right? I mean, the answer is yes. They were all damn good.
They were all fantastic. King's performance, 12 strikeouts.
Okay, I'll go there. I'll side with him, too, because he went 7 innings and struck out 12. The other guys went 6 innings. Yeah. Michael King?
Double-digit strikeouts, game 1, setting the tone from the Braves on their heels, especially when you look at the Mets and the way that they were able to keep the momentum from that doubleheader that they played on Monday versus Atlanta that just looked tired and behind on everything.
Yep. Fernando Tatis hit a 2-run home run, and Padres went 4-0. Brian Snitker, the manager of the Braves, said it might have been one of the best performances we've ever seen in regards to Michael King. He said the reason we didn't score was he was that good. That's what he said after the game. The reason we didn't score is because of that guy. So that good. So you get him again tonight. Mets erupted for runs. Tigers held on. Boy, the Astros made it interesting. They loaded the bases in the ninth. They started up on the bullpen, got a double off the wall, a base hit by Bregman, another base hit, loaded the bases, and then the bull. I mean, I had a sick feeling for Detroit on that one because that's Houston, and that's what they do in the postseason, and that was a veteran team. And I was like, damn, they're going to waste the Skubal outing, and this bullpen's going to come in and crush them. And the ball, the last out, that it was the veteran lefty, who was up, smoked it. Like, hit the ball as hard as you can hit it. It just went right at the first baseman. I mean, he didn't even have to move. But when it came off the bat, you're like, holy smokes, that's a base hit. And it was Hayward. And he lined it right at the first base with base. I thought it was in right field. The game was tied.
Yeah, the Astros had their moments in that game, and it was really impressive, too, even getting out of the seventh inning. After, Bregman hit a strike off the left field wall, and then what they were able to do, close out that game. And now it gets a little dicey for the Tigers in terms of their starting pitching, but the same thing for Houston.
Yep.
Who's going to be able to step up in game two.
These are best 2 out of 3. So the Astros, all the teams who lost, it's must win now. And it's going to be interesting. Road teams win 3 out of the 4 yesterday. The Padres were the only home team that wins in baseball's playoffs yesterday. 505-246-0610. Art, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. How you doing, Art?
I'm doing good. How are you, Jeff?
Good. What's happening?
Yeah, I just have I saw things at Texas State. I was thinking, and I'm not sure what comes Tulane or Tulsa's end, but why not try to talk to those cats also, put a little bait on the hook and throw something out in that region? Because I know, or even, go back and talk to Montana State. I think them, or as you said, Sam Houston would actually help the Mountain West and not make it as less attractive.
Okay. So you said, you broke up early. You said Tulane and Tulsa. Is that what you said to start?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Down that region, right? Because I'm not sure if they're both in Conference USA.
No, they're not. Neither one of them are. Yeah, they're the American, and they're just not. I can't see them leaving the American, where there's a little bit of stability right now and a lot more TV money to go to the Mountain West, and they're not. I don't see an American team saying, yeah, we want to go to that, where there's way less stability. Now, the Sam Houston thing, the Montana State thing, I think may both be in play right now, for all I know. But I just don't see a team in the American saying, yeah, let me leave the stability and the money of this and go over to that right now. I just don't see it happening.
All right, let me ask you one more scenario.
Yeah.
This is a pipe dream of a pipe dream. Well, let's just say stuff rolls downhill, and everybody says, no. Now, wouldn't it be something, and I know this is like people were talking about, like a last-ditch effort for the backup, but wouldn't it be something if they say, you know what, damn it, we're going to have to just eat crow and say, Nevada, being New Mexico, come on. Because they know their basketball plus their baseball have been good programs. Mm-hmm. So what do you think about that? I mean, do you think that might...
Yeah, I think it's a long shot.
Ugly head?
I think it's a long shot. And as I've heard a lot of people say, nothing's off the table. So I won't say never. I think at this point it's a long shot. I think that they've made it so clear that they don't want you. And it depends who you talk to. If they had to take another team, who would it be? And I've seen, obviously UNLV is the one, but they turn them down. San Jose State, New Mexico, whomever. I just think it's a long shot at this point. Art, appreciate you. Thanks. The people who are holding out on the reverse merger thing, JJ, I'm not going to sit here and say never, because I've watched stuff happen that I never thought would happen. I'm not sure I think you can get to that point. I think that those people at this point are so over what they left behind and convincing themselves every day how much better off they are without, quote unquote, the dead weight that, even though they need bodies to fill, I think they would go to places that they always considered themselves above when they were in the Mountain West and backfill there. I think they would rather fill with a Texas State than a New Mexico.
I agree with that. I don't have any belief, even in this never say never world of conference realignment, that they're coming back to any of these Mountain West schools.
What's a better, more valuable athletic program right now, New Mexico or Texas State? Right?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure I know either, with all the metrics that they use. But I think they've made it pretty clear that, and by the way,
what?
I don't know that New Mexico could get out and go right now.
Yeah, and this is one where it's fascinating of how it played out, and I just look and say Utah State, right? And I think that's one kind of
all of us
I just wonder, all the backroom dealing and stuff we might not hear about for a long time about what that was, the pull there.
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly, I don't know.
That made them, all right, if X, Y doesn't work, well, Z will pull at least Utah State and then go from there.
Yeah. I mean, is it the metric that people watch them more? I showed you that metric that they're 82nd as far as viewership, in New Mexico's 102nd or 4th or whatever the number was. Is that it? You saw the president of San Diego State said, well, we used the metrics. And they said, oh, okay. All right. At some point, common sense comes in too, right? Or maybe it does not. I got an email on this. Remember yesterday, or this is a text. Somebody said New Mexico is trying to keep New Mexico State out of the Mountain West. This is from 8990. It says, Jeff, you asked for info about this. Here's a blurb from a social media post from, quote, National Basketball Insider. Are you familiar with it? I don't know who that is. Okay. It reads, the University of New Mexico is reportedly trying to block New Mexico State University from joining the Mountain West Conference due to long-standing rivalries and concerns over maintaining their competitive edge in the region. The rivalry between UNM and NMSU, known as the Rio Grande rivalry, has been fierce in multiple sports, particularly football and basketball. Historically, UNM has had more success and visibility within the Mountain West Conference, and they may perceive NMSU's entry as a threat to their standing in the region, in both athletically and in terms of fan support. Additionally, there are financial and recruitment implications. By limiting NMSU's conference options, UNM might be seeking to retain its competitive advantage in recruiting top talent and maintaining a stronger financial position through larger media deals and revenue sharing agreements within the Mountain West. This dynamic is noted not only in sports rivalry, but also in education funding, with broader concerns about regional dominance. I guess and I appreciate you sending that to me. What's that attributed to? There are reports, or it says reportedly. I've not seen it reported anywhere other than on this social media post claiming that there are reports.
A lot of it is, it's happened in the past. So
it has happened in the past. I do believe it has happened in the past.
And so people are assuming the same exact thing is happening right now.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, you want me? I'll send a text over and I'll ask the question straight up. Hey, are you guys trying to keep NMSU out? Right? And I'm sure the answer, but okay, no, in 8990, I appreciate that info. I did ask for it, but a post saying something reportedly without citing, I've not seen any reports. So I know what happened in the past. I understand the ill feelings. I'm not certain that I believe it's happening now. 505-246-0610. NFL stuff when we get back, including one of the best receivers in the league now on the market. What's the asking price, and where will he land? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM. An AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own.
All right, we'll get a full slate of football for you here on The Sports Animal coming up this week. It is your home for the National Football League, and it starts on Thursday night. Thursday night football, the Buccaneers and Falcons, Baker Mayfield, Kirk Cousins. Pretty good one tomorrow night. 5:30 right here on The Sports Animal. We got college football for you on Saturday. Missouri and Texas A&M in the SEC. Then Auburn and Georgia in the SEC. 9:30 for the first game, 1 o'clock for the second game. Saturday, your lineup will be early window. We got Europe games, right? London games. Jets and Vikings go at 7:15 in the morning. As of now, it looks like we're covering the Ravens and Bengals at 11. We'll have the Cardinals and Niners at 2. Over on KTBL, the Raiders play the Broncos. Sunday Night Football, Cowboys and Steelers, and Monday Night Saints and Chiefs. It's all right here. I mean, almost every damn game. It's like, holy smokes. It's actually covered right here on The Sports Animal. Pretty good lineup this week, too.
Love it.
Raiders will play the Broncos, and as of now, they've got Devontae Adams in the mix. But how long will Devontae Adams be in the mix? is the question. The Raiders basically said, yep, we're listening. It'll take a second-round pick and other compensation to pry away a guy who I think is still one of the best receivers in the National Football League. He will get traded, JJ. They're going to get a package that would be a second round and something. Whether it is the Jets or the Steelers. The Steelers feel so real to me in this. Don't they to you?
Yeah, they were rumored to be in discussions when Brandon Ayuk was out there. They have the flexibility by not being heavily invested in a quarterback on a gigantic salary.
Let me throw a couple other things at you. The Jets, Aaron Rodgers and him getting reunited there. Jets offense scored 9 points against the Broncos last week. Garrett Wilson's really good. After that, what are they doing? They should be better than they are. Look, they're all in. They have to be all in. This is a all in year for everybody over there. I think that's a possibility.
Yeah, to me that is actually the best move, just because you're getting the best out of Devontae Adams, but just financially down the road with the restructured deal and the money that is earned by Devontae Adams, he's not going to give a big chunk of that. Can you make that deal?
Yeah, cap-wise. What about New Orleans? He loves Derek Carr. Derek Carr's there. He's got Chris Olave. Shaheed's been good. Does it make sense for him to go over there? So where will it be? But Devontae appeared on the Up and Adams show on Tuesday. That would be yesterday with Kay Adams. He was asked about Antonio Pierce, the coach of the Raiders, Instagram account liking a post from Sports Illustrated, wondering whether Adams played his final game. Quote from this is Devontae on his coach. I haven't heard from him. I haven't talked to him. Social media is a beast, so it's a lot of people out there that saw it and wondering what's going on and reaching out. This is over in Vegas. It's over for him. Does he play this week?
No, he has the hamstring.
His hamstring is going to be fine as soon as he gets traded, right?
That's why I'd be worried to trade for Devontae Adams right now.
Would you?
Money, yeah, he's good, but I don't. When is the last time an in-season deal has actually changed the team?
Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, but they were good.
They were good, and they became really good.
And we're talking about maybe like fringe playoff teams, and is Devontae Adams really going to push you over the top right
Was
now?
Von Miller? No. I mean, it's a fair question. It's a really fair question.
And I look at the Saints. You have a fantasy football team, but it's all right. It just takes targets away from someone. It doesn't mean Rashid Shaheed is still going to be that dude.
Yeah,
you're going to feed Chris Olave number one reads. Is it going to be Devontae Adams?
Well, it would end up being Devontae Adams, I think, just because you brought him in and it's Derek Carr and him. But yeah, it's a really good question. When was the last time an in-season trade made a huge difference? I mean, McCaffrey made them even better, right?
Yes, he did.
Gosh, I'm just staring at stuff right now. I don't. That's a really fair question. I'm not sure I have the answer for you.
Like the only one I would believe is the Jets in terms of I think you'll get Devontae Adams locked in. There's a history with him and Aaron Rodgers. But then you look at and everyone thought, it's Aaron Rodgers. Garrett Wilson hasn't been lighting the world on fire.
No.
So is that it?
Well, Aaron Rodgers hasn't.
Rodgers and Wilson thing.
Yep. All right. 505-246-0610. Edward, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Good day, sir.
Well, good day, gentlemen. I'm thoroughly looking forward to the Balloon Festival this weekend. I'm a big fan. I open my window and I look out the door, and there I get the full experience. But happy October to you guys. We're in the sports equinox. I believe that the Buccaneers, when they had Brady, they picked up LeGarrette Blount, and he was instrumental in the playoff run. Now, he's not a force multiplier, but it was I don't know if they picked him up in the offseason. I think it was midseason. I could be wrong.
All right. Well, that would be a piece. Yeah. All right.
Hey, so 17-year-old guy from Alabama tears up the league.
Mm-hmm.
How long before the NIL permeates into the high school level and people start getting the NIL deals in at high school?
I think it already has.
If it's not already officially happening, it probably unofficially happens, but just food for thought and banter for your show. Hey, I want to talk about the Lobo and UNM programs. I think I've attended both schools, and I think great academic, organizations and institutions. And I root for both teams, for regional purposes. I think there's some very articulate people that come on the show. Like, I think Jason's a savant, quite honestly, for his content. I like Rudy and his passion, and very cerebral people that call in, and then sometimes call in, and I'm just like, the hubris that they demonstrate, I just don't understand. Let me articulate real brief, and then I'll get off because I know you got to move forward. The Lobo program, when they take shots at New Mexico State, one thing I appreciate about New Mexico State is they know who and what they are, and they embrace it, right? There's issues. Each program has issues. But I think they have a foundation of a good self-realization of who they are, right? And they try to work on it. I think a lot of Lobo fans have an irrational exuberance and unrealistic view of what they are. Let me reiterate. The people that in your conference sat in a room in the last couple of weeks and said, they told you what they think about your program. I'm not taking shots. I'm just telling you what is and what transpired. The other members of your conference sat in a room and said they told exactly what they thought about you. And that should be a leveling moment to say, okay, let's take a step back and regroup. So for fans that come on and just continually take shots back and forth, I don't get it. I really don't. I know there's competitive nature. I know that there's fandom, which is fan short for fanatic. I get it. But it makes me laugh, and it's comical. And anyway, I just thought I'd share that with you, but I appreciate you letting me share my thoughts, and I hope you guys enjoy the baseball playoffs.
Appreciate you. What do you think of that? I mean, fans take shots at each other. Lobo fans have been taking shots at other schools, certainly at New Mexico State. And what he's saying is, dude, who are you guys right now? Like your peers, the people you thought were your peers, got in a room and said, yeah, we don't want you, and they bolted from you. Who are you to be taking shots at people?
That's one where I hear it, but then I take a step back and say, you're fans, man. This is sports. It's not rational thinking.
And he prefaced it with that.
Yeah, so that's the way I view it.
Every fan base thinks that they are...
Like Alabama fans are going to take a step back and say good things about Georgia fans or vice versa or anything like that.
Right. I think every fan base thinks that... I mean, look, San Diego State, those guys, Boise State, they thought they should have been in the Pac-12, Big 12. I mean, look, why aren't we there for the last however many years? That they were so much better than New Mexico and Wyoming and everybody else that was left behind. But yeah, you're in a fan base. You realize the good things about your place. You don't understand why people aren't taking you. Yeah, I get it. All right, 505-246-0610. We just mentioned him. Stud in the NFL. Suspended for 4 games. Why? And for what? I'll tell you when we get back. Your car's a mess. I know that. Mine is too. It's time for me. On the Spot Automotive Detailing will come and take care of that for you. And not just clean your car, detail your vehicle. Detail it like to the point where it looks and feels and smells brand new. Remember when you took it off the lot? Remember when you took it home and you tried to keep it that way for a while, and then life just started happening, and, well, now it's where it is. You can have that new car feeling again with On the Spot Automotive Detailing, and you don't have to take your vehicle anywhere. They will come to you, and they will detail your vehicle at your office, in your driveway, wherever it works for you. That's what they do. I don't know where their office is. They know where mine is. When they're done, you've got that new car feel. People are standing around going, how can I get it? Well, you can just go to otsdetailing.com. You too can have it. It's a great gift, by the way. Everybody will love this. I've given this as gifts before many times, and people love this gift. Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't want to protect one of their biggest investments and drive around in a vehicle that looks and feels and smells brand new? They also offer window tinting, paint protection. Talk to them about the lifetime warranties that they offer as well. On the Spot Automotive Detailing is best in the city. They were awarded that. They are best in the city. OTSdetailing.com is where you can go and book and buy. It's all right there. OTSdetailing.com. Or they're online at 505, that is online, or you make the phone call. 505-859-2859, 505-859-2859.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Seriously? You expect me to drive while you aren't wearing seatbelts?
What's the worst that can happen?
Seriously? Buckle up.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. Our law firm was founded by my father, Thibaut J. Chavez, with one goal: to get New Mexicans the help they need. That's why we built a different kind of law firm. We focus on family values, dedicated service, and we make a real contribution by giving back to our communities. We can't change what happened to you or your loved ones, but we can help you get back on the road to recovery. We're by your side, and we're still as local as red and green.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
AM 610, the sports animal.
So we've been an active week, and it's actually been really fun listening to what you all have had to say. You've brought really, really good content this week, last week, and appreciate it. It's been fun hearing what you have to say, both about the NFL stuff, about the conference realignment stuff. You keep it coming today. 505-246-0610. Let's go back to you. You've been good. Hello, Chad. You're on the Sports Animal. What's happening?
Hey, guys. Good morning. I just want to say I
learned a lot about how UNM sports kind of works through your program here. I was one of the people who was saying, why don't we football? Why don't we either get rid of it or go to FCS? It's a money pit. And I think you guys having the interim athletic director last Friday on your show was a great educational piece for me because he broke down the importance of the football team. And I didn't realize, people say, football team is you got to have the football team. Well, he actually broke down the numbers. And he said, between the sponsorships, TV deals, ticket sales, et cetera, and not to mention beyond the financial aspect, just the communal aspect and the camaraderie you build on a university campus, which I can definitely relate to. I was like, wait, that's a definite selling point. You have that spirit. And I didn't realize that the team brings in $11 to $12 million for UNM. So now I understand the premise now, and I think we got to do everything we can to keep the football team. And it does keep us on the national spotlight. It's definitely, if we didn't have football here at UNM, we wouldn't have anything. So as well for the local community. That was a great guest to have on, and I hope we work it out. I hope we keep building this Mountain West. I hope we get Texas State in there. I think that's a great upside with Texas State, especially their location. And I think there's a good future going forward here. So that's just a shout out to you guys for educating some of the listeners.
Appreciate that. No, and that means a lot. Thank you, Chad, for the call. And Texas State has, as of now, said no. We're not joining. They've told the Mountain West no, and they told the Sun Belt they're staying in the Sun Belt as of now. But appreciate that, and that's why we have guests on, and not just to fill time, man. We hopefully the guests that we have on the show help inform, entertain, and give you guys, a perspective maybe or some information that we wouldn't get somewhere else. Ben, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Ben.
Hey, thank you for taking my call. I was calling in regards to the conference realignment and everything.
Yep.
I heard you guys say about Texas State. I saw that there were reports saying that they're trying to stay in the Sun Belt, but everything with conference realignment, fluid, things change daily. But I was going to say another team they were talking about is Tarleton State.
Yep.
But with the teams that left, and I want to get your guys' opinion, and I'm not saying anything bad about the Mountain West. I like the Mountain West. The Mountain West got exponentially worse.
Of course.
Especially in basketball. I mean, if they only add UTEP and possibly another FCS school, I don't know about the future of the Mountain West, to be honest with you. Because for basketball, they lost everything. Now the Mountain West is probably nothing more than like the WAC with Grand Canyon.
They didn't get better. No, and Ben, appreciate it. Yeah, JJ, there's no argument. They got worse in basketball. I mean, you lose San Diego State and Utah State and Boise State. Yeah, there's no argument. And you replace it with UTEP and Tarleton State if that's where it ends up. There's no argument. They're way worse in basketball. Yes. And that's why, when it's all said and done, if St. Mary's does not go, now I don't know what St. Mary's, look, it's a California school. They're on the West Coast. If they don't go to the Pac-12, would they make sense in this league? San Jose State's close to them. They'd stay in the league. I don't know where you're going to go. There's got to be some focus on what are you going to do? Remember back in the, I don't know, it feels like back in the day, probably 3 years ago, when did Wichita State join the American? And there was the charter in the Mountain West, you have to play football, and they held tight to that, and they didn't invite Wichita State. Remember that?
Yeah.
Mistake. Fair?
Well, no.
You don't think so?
It's easy to say after the fact.
Oh, I said it then.
Okay.
I mean, you don't think...
no one saw what happened with this conference.
But still, at that point, to not make the exception for what Wichita State's program was, they had recently been in the Final Four, to not say, gosh, you know what, we're going to waive that. That made sense when we started the league.
Would that have stopped anything that happened?
No. But you might have Wichita State in your league now, basketball-wise. I'm just saying, for basketball, because his point. Look, there's a lot of people, and you can hear the anger in him. He's pissed. He's a basketball dude. I don't blame him. Yeah, you're concerned about your basketball program, and you should be. Now, hopefully, and this is where it's going to get interesting, depending on how many teams in your league, you're going to have a lot more games to schedule, right? If you only have 9-ish teams in your league, you're going to have a lot of non-conference games to schedule. Can you schedule a home-and-home with San Diego State? You know, this year here, next year there? Will they play you? Will these old rivals play you? Will Colorado State or Boise State want to play you? It would behoove you. Hopefully there'll be a Mountain West Pac-12 challenge. Don't you think that would be good? Well, certainly for the Mountain West, but the Pac-12 thinks they're better than you.
Yeah, there might be a few one-off games, but there's going to be nothing where the Pac-12 is like, hey, let's do this to help the Mountain West Conference.
Well, not to help the Mountain West Conference.
If they were dragging down their brands, they're not going to go out of their way to schedule non-conference.
I don't think anybody said New Mexico basketball was dragging down your brand, right? If you can schedule a game that's going to help your net ranking, that's what a coach cares about. And you think Brian Dutch is going, man, I'm not playing New Mexico because of the bad blood there. And we'll see where it goes. Whoever the coach is here at that point.
Well, you're just going to have to go play them.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't
road
think
game.
Yeah, which sucks. 505-246-0610. Keep them coming. The Dolphins have announced their quarterback situation. It's a mess. Jets have a mess with their. How about Jets and Philly? Very similar. Head coach, quarterback, not on the same page with each other. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. It's the OD and the AM with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Bob.
I forgot to check my my transactions. Did you get what you needed? Well, I went to. I'm not really good at this. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. Glad you're with us on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. 505-246-0610 if you want to get in today. A lot of you have gotten in today, and it's been good. It's been good. We're talking about conference alignment, realignment. Where do you go? Texas State said no. Where are you? All of these places. What's next? Big picture. You're welcome to get in on any of that. We have the baseball yesterday. 3 great pitching performances. Michael King of the Padres, 7 innings, 12 strikeouts. Padres beat the Braves last night 4-0. Mets 8-4 over the Brewers in the other National League game. Tarek Skubal, 6 innings pitched, 6 strikeouts. For the Tigers, they beat the Astros on the road 3-1. And Cole Ragans was terrific for the Royals, 1-0 over the Orioles yesterday. So pitching dominates. So today we get a bunch of 10-9 games, right? Is that how that's going to go as they go deeper into it? J.J. Von Miller has been suspended, the former Bronco, the Buffalo Bills defensive end. It was announced yesterday, 4-game suspension without pay. He violated the NFL's personal conduct policy. He'll be eligible for reinstatement after the Week 8 game at Seattle. He'll miss games against Texans, the Jets, the Titans as well. It stems from allegations that Von Miller assaulted his pregnant girlfriend back in November of 2023. This was during a Bills bye week. It was in Texas. The NFL didn't respond for any clarity over it. But after that incident, he turned himself into the police in Glen Heights, Texas, on an arrest warrant of 3rd-degree felony assault of a pregnant woman. He was booked. He was released on $5,000 bond. He's denied the allegations, said they're 100% false. No charges were ever filed, but the NFL conducted their own separate investigation, and ESPN obtained this affidavit last year detailing the allegations against Miller, included him putting a hand and later both hands on the woman's neck for about 3 to 5 seconds, pulling her hair, trying to shove her while she was attempting to gather her things and leave after he told her to get out of the apartment where they both lived. That's according to the affidavit. According, again, to this report, the woman told Von Miller she was going to call the police, which prompted him to then leave the residence. When the police arrived, minor abrasions on her left hand, bruising to her neck, consistent with applied pressure on the neck. In addition to bruising on her abdomen, left biceps, the injuries were documented and going on. So, look, this is one of those, you never know. Again, allegations, and I'm not going to convict a guy. You never know who these guys are. I don't know that we'll ever know the truth here. All I know is when I read the allegations are always disturbing. And the NFL, in their investigation, obviously found enough to suspend him for 4 games, so the Bills will be without him for 4 games. I know I'm not looking for a comment here. Look, there's one comment. This sucks. It's bad for everybody involved. Bad luck. But I guess we think we know these guys, and it's a reminder that sometimes maybe we don't. You know what I'm saying?
I do. Now, the NFL hasn't specifically said that's why they suspended him, but that's what you point back to.
Well, right. I mean, there's nothing else. So he'll be out for a while. All right, other stuff. Cowboys, man, what are we working with here? So they're beat up. Cowboys made it official yesterday. They put defensive end DeMarcus Lawrence on injured reserve. So that's at least 4 games before he's eligible to return. Liz Frank injury, right foot. Probably going to need 4 to 6 weeks. Their other starting defensive end, Micah Parsons, also injured. High ankle sprain, could miss the next 2 before the bye. Cowboys haven't ruled him out for Sunday against the Steelers. Play your Steelers, especially your running Steelers on Sunday?
Well, Najee Harris should have a solid floor. An opportunity for Justin Fields to pick up where he left off on the ground against the Colts. Use the legs a little bit. And you're going to be keeping your fingers crossed for the Cowboys. You can find some explosive plays against that Steelers defense, which gave up a little bit to Joe Flacco.
Yep. I tried to get Justin Fields in this league. Somebody else got him. Didn't get him. Picked him up in another league and helped me. He's become a very popular fantasy quarterback, has he not? Justin Fields?
He will be after his 2 touchdown performance on the ground.
And
they're still not getting a lot through the air. There's efficiency numbers, but I think once people be like, oh, that's what you're waiting for,
dude,
is the rushing.
If they get Devontae Adams. No?
It's. I don't think that offense is as simple as plug and play, and Arthur Smith is going to take off with Devontae Adams.
And they're going to run the ball. I mean, obviously, they're going to run the ball.
And you're still asking, you're not going to change the way you play. And all of a sudden, Justin Fields, we're going to throw the ball 10, 12 more times per game.
Okay. Devontae Adams may end up with the Jets. The Jets quarterback and their head coach have a great relationship, according to Aaron Rodgers. They don't. And is Robert Saleh the biggest hot seat quarterback head coach right now? The Jets head coach, is he? If you were to say who's going to be the first guy to get fired mid-season, would it be him or would it be Doug Peterson? Jacksonville.
Go Doug Peterson.
Just because of ownership would be more likely to pull the trigger there, and they're 0-4.
They don't. Yeah, 0-4. You can't come back from that. You're still 2-2.
Yep.
No major injuries.
Yeah, but if he doesn't get along with Rodgers, then it doesn't matter because it's all about Rodgers. And Rodgers says that they're fine. He, where was he? Was he on with McAfee yesterday? Is that where Rodgers went? Quote, Rob and I have a great relationship. We have since the day I got here. We have text message conversations threads that we're in, conversations about a number of different topics outside of football. We have a good friendship. Okay. There was an issue. The way Rodgers responded was, I thought, classic over the weekend. They had a lot of pre-snap penalties. And after the game, Robert Saleh said, he blamed it on the cadence, or at least mentioned the cadence. And Rodgers is the best, probably in the history of the game, with the cadence. The cadence is changing up, red 19, hut, right? That whole mess that draws guys offside. You've seen more free plays with guys jumping off sides from Rodgers than Brady, anybody else in the history. I mean, he's great at it. And so the reporters, of course, went straight from Saleh to Rodgers and asked Aaron about it. And he said, That's one way to look at it. The other way to look at it is maybe hold people accountable. And he's right. He's right. I guess, you know what that is saying to me? I remember when my daughter was in kindergarten, and look, we were very fortunate. Her grandma was with her. She learned to read, and she went into kindergarten reading. And I remember the teacher in kindergarten saying, gosh, she's doing really great. We're trying to bring her back to the class. I'm like, no, that's a wrong answer, man. Like, no, that's what we found another way. This is what I'm hearing is, we're trying to bring the offensive line, or Aaron, back to the level of the offensive line. He's a little too. No. The answer is be good enough, isn't it?
Aaron Rodgers had the right answer in this.
Yes. Let me blame the pre-snap penalty by guys jumping because Aaron's kid. This guy's made a 20-year career or whatever it is out of doing this. You're doing it all week. Be better is the answer. So, and then there was that non-hug. Remember after that first game and Salah went over to hug him. Rodgers said there's always going to be messaging and narratives out there, and you have two choices. You can ride the wave, really a roller coaster, or you can say bleep it, and I don't care. And I'm the latter. I don't get into what the conversation is on outside the building around myself. The relationship that I have, the most important ones, are looking a guy in the eye in the locker room or in a meeting room and knowing he's got your back and you got his back. End quote. Can I tell you, I don't always agree with what Aaron Rodgers says, but I think he's right on this stuff.
I don't believe that last comment for a second.
You don't.
He's involved with everything people say about him everywhere.
Well, I'll always that one's fair.
And he knows he has power over Robert Saleh, so he can pretend like they're buddy-buddy.
I don't know that I think they are buddy-buddy. I don't think that him and this coach are good.
He can pretend.
But let's be real. He's always had prickly relationships with his coaches, has he not?
Like, this is who he is. This is no different. Like, him having not your happiest reactions or sniping out at someone or talking back, that's Aaron Rodgers' entire career.
No. And so why would anybody be surprised? And this is most likely, right? This is Aaron Rodgers last year. Do we think that's right? He signed a 2-year deal, or is it a 3? Because with all due respect, unless he gets way better, is he worth paying $50 million next year?
Yes.
You think so?
If he still wants to play quarterback.
Just because he's Aaron Rodgers. He hasn't been that good.
And again, if they're bad enough to get a quarterback, sure. But then it's...
Yeah, where do you go? Right? What are you going to do?
Andy Dalton for the year?
Probably not.
They're 2-2. And the game on Sunday...
Yeah,
he threw for 250 yards, didn't score a touchdown.
Okay.
But it was... mistake filled. I'm not going to look at that one and be like, all right, let's not bring back Aaron Rodgers.
I'm not, look, and again, there was an if in front of that. I'm not ready to throw in the towel on him. And I'm not, nor am I ready to blame the entire game on him. But he is going to absorb some of the responsibility here, and he's not been really good.
They couldn't score from the 1-yard line. They ran Breece Hall twice.
I get that. I'm looking at a 40-year-old guy who's coming back from an Achilles, who was really good. Let's play it out. I mean, I just threw it. That was an if. That was a hypothetical action. If he doesn't get better, do you? I don't know whose option it is. It's got to be the team's option. Well, maybe it's not. To bring him back. All right, 505-246-0610. Yeah.
Really, and you look at Rodgers, and last 2 games they played the Patriots and Broncos. The Broncos actually have a defense that matters.
Yeah, they do.
This season.
Yeah.
When you look at the numbers. But the last 2 games, completed 27 and then 24% of his passes. 2 touchdowns.
How many?
It's 27 and 24 passes completed. With 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, 5 touchdowns overall, 1 interception. That's what you're looking for right now out of Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
Is it going to equal the salary? No. But that's why you can't cut half the league with these quarterbacks that have these salaries.
I mean, that's what the market is. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how you determine does a quarterback honor his play up to his contract at this point. All right, 505-246-0610. And then there's the Dolphins. And what are they doing to quarterback? See, it could always be worse. You're right. I mean, you want to go that way? Yep. No, you're right. We'll get there next. Hey, you got a party to plan, an event, a convention, a gala, a meeting, a gathering. May I suggest the Albuquerque Convention Center? We do it. As Let New Mexico Bowl, we take our teams there every bowl week on Thursday night. Have for, I want to say, every year we've done this, if not certainly for the last 16 plus. Why? Because they take care of our student athletes. They take care of our guests, and they'll take care of yours. They've got 600,000 square feet. Beautiful, versatile, flexible indoor and outdoor meeting space. Right in the heart of downtown. They will accommodate any size event. Huge, not huge. 10 people, 20,000 people. Anything you need. Book your dream event at the center of it all. It's the Albuquerque Convention Center. They've got great food options, a staff that is expert in taking care of your people. Your event will be the event that everybody wants to be at. You're in the process right now of figuring out what you're going to do for a holiday party. I'm going to suggest the Albuquerque Convention Center. You'll be able to walk through. They've got beautiful, beautiful, beautiful meeting space and parking accessible, easy in and out. The parking garage is right there. Look, there's a reason we go there. I know you've been to events there. You loved it, and they will make your event special. Be at the center of it all. Visit albuquerquecc.com. Look at it all right there, albuquerquecc.com. And then you can call 505-768-4575 for information. It's area code 505-768-4575. It's the Albuquerque Convention Center. Be at the center of it all.
This report is sponsored by FEMA. FEMA.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. Our law firm was founded by my father, Thibaut J. Chavez, with one goal, to get New Mexicans the help they need. That's why we built a different kind of law firm. We focus on family values, dedicated service, and we make a real contribution by giving back to our communities. We can't change what happened to you or your loved ones, but we can help you get back on the road to recovery. We're by your side, and we're still as local as red and green.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports. Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican, fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area.
Girls, Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck is the opening drive. Thank you for being with us on 95.9 FM and at AM 610, The Sports Animal. Thanks for remembering you listen to The Sports Animal. John Traub, the Isotopes general manager, is going to be with us coming up at 9:30. Their new schedule's up. Next year, we can talk some baseball with the big boss over at Isotopes. It could always be worse, man. Quarterback situation. Mike McDaniel, Dolphins coach, said that Skylar Thompson, Skylar Thompson's not cleared, so we're going to have to go with the other. Well, what if we only had Skylar Thompson? So Tyler Huntley, it's a different Huntley. Tyler Huntley will get the start. In his first start, he was 14 of 22 for 96 yards. We're going with Tyler. After reviewing the tape, there's reasons for guys to be excited about that because while the output wasn't nearly what we wanted offensively, there were some things to build upon that we'll keep working through. Holy bleep. Dolphin fans got to be excited. Well, after looking at the tape, there's stuff to be excited about. Those 96 yards were really, really good yards.
Gotta say something.
I know you do, man.
I come out and
I'm not telling
you go the other way and lose everyone.
No, look.
I do think there's pressure on Mike McDaniel, though, right now for being this guy that they credited with creating so many opportunities. And you look in this league and you say, all right, it was a little bit longer, but not much longer, that Malik Willis was in the building for the Green Bay Packers, and they put a successful game plan together. You still have Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Devon Achane, and that's all you could muster up. I get it. It's essentially QB3 at this point. The dude was in the building for like a week and a half, 2 weeks. But now you're hoping for a better game plan of somehow, some way, get those guys the football.
Yeah. I mean, you're supposed to be boy genius. Yeah, figure it out. All right, let's go. 505-246-0610. Jerry, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hello, Jerry.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
The Gonzaga addition to the Pac-12 has just got me puzzled. Okay, I understand it benefits their basketball program, so they've decided to use some football money to improve their overall basketball status. I don't really understand their strategy. I still don't think that she's doing a very wise thing. That's my opinion. I do think that my personal opinion is I would prefer to keep the Mountain West in the mountain region. I would prefer to add Montana State, Montana, those type of schools, rather than beg Texas State to come. They're not going to really benefit our football programs. So I just think the whole Mountain West, the teams that are involved, have got to add money to their program. We've got to increase our presence just by our improvements. So, but Jeff, explain to me, why do you think the addition of Gonzaga is a big improvement for the Pac-12?
Because
I don't understand
for basketball, I mean, it makes them.
Well, yeah, for basketball. But what does it do for the conference football program?
No, it does nothing for the football program. But it's inarguable that they're one of the best. Well, I mean, there's been 3 really, really good. The three best programs on the West Coast over the last 2 decades have been Gonzaga, Arizona, and San Diego State, whatever order you want. And they've got 2 of them now. It's inarguable that it makes them the best basketball conference out West and a top, I don't know, JJ, 5 or 6 basketball conference in America. And so that made sense to bring them in, and it'll help them for their basketball TV rights. Now, it doesn't do a damn thing for them for football. They still need to go find 2 more football playing schools. So it does nothing for them. In regards to your Montana, and there's a lot of push on the Montana stuff, I think, Jerry, one of the big reasons they want to get into Texas is, well, there's 2 big reasons. There's some TV markets there that they'd like to get into, right? Sam Houston, they feel would get them into Houston. The Texas State thing was right between San Antonio and Austin. They thought that would help. But it's also recruiting, man. If you can get in there and just be able to get into recruiting base for, say, hey, we're going to come home once or twice a year. Your parents are going to be able to see you, just to have that footprint, because now you have no more footprint in Southern California in the Mountain West. San Diego State's gone. Do you lose that? No, you'll still recruit there. But that's one of the big reasons. That and the TV markets are why they're looking at Texas. The Montana, the Dakotas, the TV markets don't do you very much, and hence when you go to negotiate your deal with the television networks, what's that going to do for you, and where's your money going to be?
Okay, yeah. I kind of see that. I maybe would be better off grasping more of Texas than
you can do both.
Going to Montana.
Yeah, you can do both if it pencils out. But that's why they're looking at Texas. So makes sense.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
No, thanks, Jerry. I mean, did I miss something there? Am I misleading on any of that?
No, and I don't think there's a strong appetite right now for the Montanas or Dakotas to go FBS just to go FBS in football.
From their side.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't, like everybody said, well, just go get them, just go offer them.
It's a different level of investment, different level of scholarships needed. Like, yes, those are good quality football programs. But they also look at where they are and say, do they want to upset that just to join a Mountain West conference? There's questions.
I think all that's right. There's a big cost to going FBS.
Yes.
Do they have the investment? And
it's scholarships, it's NIL funds, all this stuff.
No, they've got to all be sitting around and saying, hey, how are we penciling this out? How do we make this work? No, you're 100% right. When you sit around and whoever it is that's making these decisions budgetarily, they've got to figure out, how do we make this work? And it's not a no-brainer. Now, I do hear a lot of rumblings North Dakota State wants to go up. Okay? I'm not sure Montana or Montana State do. Now, I think there's factions within their fan base and maybe even within their programs that do. But as an institution, do they want to? Have they committed to that? I don't know that they made their decisions yet. I got to believe there's conversations going on with conferences. And look, let me just tell you something else. You know who else has got to be active? And I'll give Judy McLeod a lot of credit, Conference USA. They're going to survive because they have the numbers. But are they looking at it? Are they looking at the Montanas? Is the American looking at the Montanas and the Dakotas? I don't know. Is the Mountain West the only one? I'm not, like I don't know what's going on behind. But, yeah, to Jerry's point, there's been a lot of sentiment on that's where they should go, and that's the mountains. I don't know, man. I look at it, and Texas has got the television markets and the recruiting. And television markets are going to get you whatever it is you're going to be able to get in your next negotiating your media rights. And that's really what this comes down to. 505-246-0610. Is it too late? Is there an expiration? When can you give a guy a game ball? Does it have to be right after the game in the locker room, or can I give it to you later and just say, hey, yeah, but I'm not taking yours back, but I found another one. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro V. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
International.
It's the opening drive. We're trying to get it right. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. You've been very active this morning at 505-246-0610. 888-922-0610. After the game on, when was it, Monday? Dan Campbell Alliance gave out his game balls. Offensive game ball went to Jamison Williams, had an 80-yard touchdown. It was nice. The guy who threw him the ball, his quarterback, Jared Goff, was perfect. Jared Goff was 18 of 18, threw for 292 yards, 2 touchdowns, and caught a 7-yard touchdown pass. I mean, I don't know. What's the dude got to do to get a game ball, right? I mean, you ever been in a room where it's a ceremony where you know you're getting an award and then you don't? You ever been that guy? Like, oh yeah, it went to someone else. It's got to be Jared Goff, right? As Campbell was giving out game balls, and, all right, great win, great win. All right, our offense was great, and this guy had, and he goes to that guy. And Jared Goff's got to be going, oh, yeah, attaboy, Jay, right? Dan Campbell said he made a mistake, and I guess he found a game ball. He said, yeah, we found one. Yes, we did. Normally, what we do is I'll give out an immediate game ball afterwards. And normally we always have another one or two that show up when we do it here, like the day after the game, after a win. So that was an easy one to get him that one. Okay. What do you think these guys do with those game balls?
Put them in whatever room they keep their extra stuff in.
Oh, there's in the garage? You know how many balls I have in my office?
Well, it's like when you see all these guys do a TV hit, what's behind them? That kind of stuff.
Yeah, but they're all nice and clean. I want to say I'd counted, I don't know, it was one day during the summer. I think I had like 40-something different versions of a football in my office. Like everywhere. It's crazy. It's not too late, though, as long as you got it right. Jared Goff was perfect, 18 for 18, and caught a touchdown. All right, let's go to you, 505-246-0610. Been a minute. Hello, Lenny. How you living?
Good. How you doing?
Good.
So I'll do football real quick before the NBA. So player goes 18 for 18, doesn't get the game ball.
He finally did.
I know, but it was a great game.
Yeah.
But Goff is and Detroit are stepping up, and it's nice that the Ravens realize that they signed Derrick Henry for a reason.
Yes.
Only took them 2 games to figure out.
Yes.
And with him as a running back, then that just takes so much pressure off of Jackson.
I mean, I almost think it makes Jackson even more dangerous, too. While taking the pressure off him, I agree with you. I just think it makes him more dangerous as well.
No, it does make you're right, it does make him more dangerous, but when you got a 240-pound man running 20 miles an hour...
Yeah, it's insane.
It's It's lead, follow, or get the hell out of the way.
Yes. Yes.
You know, and that's why it took Harbaugh 2 games to figure it out. And then going back to Jerry Jones saying we couldn't afford him. Really? You couldn't afford $9 million a season for Derrick Henry?
Well, it's a salary cap thing, right?
Everyone finagles the salary cap. You could have given him a 5-year deal with 3 void years.
Yep, you're not wrong.
Okay, so now let's get into the trade market.
All right, let's.
With Adams. So there's really only 4 logical teams he should go to. The Jets, the Bills, New Orleans, and Kansas City.
You don't think the Steelers, huh?
No, and then the next level down, the Steelers. But with teams that have a chance.
Well, I don't know. The Steelers are 3-1, man.
They are.
They believe they have a chance. That's really all that matters. Is does the team believe they have a chance? Whether you do or I do or not, does the team believe they have a chance?
Well, they do. You're right. So the Steelers do 5. But what do you think at this point they're going to get for Adams versus if they would have traded him in the summer?
Oh, well, I mean, they're asking for a second-round pick and further compensation. You know what? I don't know.
And I don't know why the Raiders took this long to do it, knowing you were going into the season with 2 CFL quarterbacks.
Because they thought they could make something happen. I mean, look, everybody leaves camp thinking they could. Nobody's ready to throw in the season, and they thought they were going to find magic with Wazoo, Gardner Minshew. I mean, that's why. Okay, well, you get lucky with lightning a bottle once when you sign Geno Smith or maybe Sam Darnold or something like that, but Minshew has a longer track record of his starter showing he just can't get over the hump. Yeah, I think that's right.
And I think the Raiders need to just blow up the team, get a quarterback in next year's draft, and start from scratch.
But they should have got a quarterback last year, and they could have, and they didn't. They got a tight end.
And I'm going to give one wild card team that should go after him. Washington.
I don't hate that either. I don't hate that at all.
Because when you look at their receivers, Devontae Adams is better than their number 1 receiver, Terry McLaurin.
Yes. When he's healthy, yeah. Oh.
And you got a very good rookie quarterback, poised, high football IQ, with an 81% completion percentage.
Yeah.
And then lastly, I'll congratulate my New York Knicks for finally making a decent trade without backing up the boat.
Yeah, we haven't gotten into that, have we? We haven't gotten into the cat trade, have we?
It was just finalized today.
Yeah. All right. That's
we'll
good
get into that later on, but that was finally they have a center since Patrick Ewing.
Yeah, no, that's appreciated. It's good to hear from you. Don't be a stranger, man.
I won't. Have a good one.
See ya. What did you think? Karl Anthony Towns goes to the Knicks. The Knicks give up. What was it? Dante DiVincenzo, and what else did they give up?
Julius Randle.
So you had a team that was one of the best teams in the West, giving up a big giant piece, getting different pieces. So they've got Gobert still there. What'd you think?
I was shocked by it.
From which side?
Both sides. And I think some of it too is the realization of there's been a lot of changes with the tiering of the salary cap structure in the NBA of just how many dudes you can have on max contracts on your roster, and there's Julius Randle and the Knicks kind of coming to that point of what is their extended future going to look like, and you bring in Karl Anthony Towns, who will slot in, and I think it's going to be interesting to see him in it's Tom Thibodeau offense and expectations of what they want from their center and what they're expecting defensively, because Cat kind of been able to take it easy on the defensive end and I let that go to Rudy Gobert. Now he's going to have to be a force in the middle for the Knicks, but still you get Cat playing off of Brunson in the pick and roll game, the way he can stretch the floor.
So you think the Knicks won the trade?
I do. They got the best player out of it.
Yeah, they did. And it makes them really, really, I mean, they already were interesting. But it makes them really, really, really interesting. All right, keep them coming. 505-246-0610. We'll talk some baseball. John Traub, the general manager of the Ice Hope's going to be with us at 9:30. Their new schedule is out for next year. You can already make your plans for next year's opening day. We'll get a little baseball in with him as well. You can talk about the baseball playoffs, too. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, glad you're with us. Thank you for remembering you listen to 95.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Everguard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Everguard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. Our law firm was founded by my father, Thibaut J. Chavez, with one goal, to get New Mexicans the help they need. That's why we built a different kind of law firm. We focus on family values, dedicated service, and we make a real contribution by giving back to our communities. We can't change what happened to you or your loved ones, but we can help you get back on the road to recovery. We're by your side, and we're still as local as red and green.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Text line's open, 505-246-0610. So is the phone line, same number, 505-246-0610. Your emails are coming in this morning, Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com and JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. Baseball yesterday, American League, Tigers behind Tarek Skubal beat the Astros. They held on 3-1. All of these are best 2 out of 3, so the team who loses yesterday has got to win today to stay alive. Kansas City on the road beat Baltimore 1-0, 6 shutout innings from Cole Reagans. National League, Mets got a big inning, 5 in the 5th, beat the Brewers 8-4. And San Diego got an unbelievable is not fair. It was believable. A terrific, it's believable. It was just terrific. 7 shutout innings, 12 strikeouts. Michael King in his first ever postseason start. Padres beat the Braves by a score of 4-0. Got a text. Mr. Mike was wondering if maybe Grant. Let me read you this one first since we're on the baseball thing. It says, Steve from Michigan. Jeff and I know it's a big if, but if the Detroit Tigers make the World Series, you go to Ann Arbor and take it in. LOL. I don't know, maybe. I mean, I don't know. Nothing's out of the realm right now. There's always travel on the table, I imagine. Find a way for maybe the child to get there, though. I think it'd be a fun experience. I want to say the last time with the Tigers been in the World Series since '84. Can you remember the Tigers? I was in San Diego I was in college when they played the Padres. Wouldn't that be something? Padres, Tigers. I was Kirk Gibson against Steve Garvey, Greg Nettles, Goose Gossage Padres. I don't know. This one says, Mr. Mike was wondering if maybe Grand Canyon would work out for the Mountain West. Thank you. So they're an interesting one because they announced they're leaving the WAC. Are they in the West Coast Conference this year? I don't know what their transition was, but they announced they were. Here, I'll find out for you. They announced they were leaving the WAC. I don't know what the buyout would be. I mean, it would certainly be something that's on your radar, right?
Absolutely. There's the all right, get to X amount of full members to maintain your conference. And then how do you strengthen basketball? Because while I get it's not the driving force, yada, 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 there's shares to be made from the NCAA tournament.
Mm-hmm. I think that's right. All right, 505-246-0610. Coming up on a break, and so we'll get back to the phone calls. Coming up here in a little bit, John Traub is going to be with us at 9:30, the general manager of the Isotopes. I'm trying to find a spot here that tells me when, because Grand Canyon is going to be an interesting one. As I think the priority for the Mountain West, and I think now so for the PAC as well, since they've already got Gonzaga, is to fill their football minimum, meaning get to 8 minimum, and then figure out what's next, don't you? And for the Mountain West, they need one more with UTEP's commitment yesterday. PAC needs 2 more. And then what are you doing as far as basketball? I wonder, JJ, does the West Coast Conference survive after all this? I mean, are they going to get picked apart? Is that the next one that gets picked apart and has to figure out how to survive?
It's always a trickle-down effect.
Only one of them's gone so far, but... All right, 505-246-0610. When we come back, I want to look a little bit deeper into the baseball stuff. Did you watch any of it? Because it was really good. NFL starts tomorrow. What you get in regards to the Thursday night game, which is a nice one. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. Happy Wednesday. Thanks for being with us on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
We've been trained, conditioned, and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico
for 5 years running.
It's the OD in the AM with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Bach.
We've been talking about places where Davante Adams might go. The Raiders disgruntled, I guess that's fair to say, wide receiver who's got a hamstring injury that will heal the day he gets traded. He's got a wish list out, JJ. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. A couple of the places that we've talked about. 2 NFL teams high on his wish list. League sources have told Adam Schefter, who's never wrong. Have you seen these? Have you seen this yet? See where they are? He would like to play with the 2 guys I told you about.
His former quarterback.
His former quarterbacks. He would like to go to the Jets and play with Aaron Rodgers, or he'd like to go to the Saints and play with Derek Carr. Those are the top 2 places I told you when we started the show today. The other places I told you would be Pittsburgh that would be in the mix on this because they were in on the Brandon Ayuk thing. And they believe that they look at 3-1. They should believe that they're a contender and that would really help them. You mentioned Kansas City, didn't you? With Rashee Rice going down?
I didn't mention Kansas City, but Davante Adams is a very good football player. I don't think he's worth
a second and something.
A second, and then what you're going to have to do money-wise over the next few years. And it's like receivers don't change the tide of the NFL.
His salary for this season is $17.5 million. $13.5 million still owed through the end of the season. Now, he's under contract for 25 and 26. His annual salary jumps to $36.25 for the next 2 seasons. Holy smokes. So, whoever gets him, as you were saying earlier.
Like, receivers matter, but it's when you have those guys. It's like when you grow them. Justin Jefferson, Nico Collins, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Like, you run down the list of teams that have paid wide receivers. It works. I just don't feel like this is a move that's like, wow, this team is going to skyrocket. And if people bringing up Buffalo, well, Buffalo's happy that you just got rid of one of these guys, Stephon Diggs, and they're going to bring another one in.
But Buffalo's not.
No, but I mean, like, they're a team that people are throwing out there in this conversation. And I don't see a move that, other than I would trust him in those 2 places.
With the Jets and New Orleans.
Just because relationships going to be in, teams with some playoff aspirations.
Okay. The last bunch of Super Bowl winners, right? So it's been Kansas City. Their best receivers were their tight ends, right? Kelsey.
Hmm?
Who won the? So was it Brady before that with Mike Evans?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he was their best receiver. The Rams before that with Cooper Kupp.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But do you have to have a stud receiver?
It is nice, but the world we're living in with Davante Adams, people being excited, is a fantasy football world.
Okay.
Like, there's not a move I think makes sense for a team that, at this point, even if it's just 4 weeks in, like, you're changing trajectory of your season because you have Davante Adams.
So whoever gets him is going to have to restructure his deal because the Jets, according to the NFLPA records, have $15.35 million left under cap. What did I just tell you again? So he's got that's the exact number that he's owed the rest of the year, $13.5 million. The Saints only have $3.2 million left. So the Saints would totally have to, but you'll be trading probably someone that'll free up a little bit of cap room, but not that much. So the Jets have just enough to sneak him under. I think he's going to end up in the Jets, dude. I really do. I think the Jets are the most desperate team here to get something done now. I think the Saints were kind of surprised that they started 2-0, and they're like, wow, we're 2-2, and we just got beat by a Young Wei Koo field goal, and we should be 3-1, but we're not. But we're pretty good, but we're good, and we got to, but let's not, and we can't afford him.
Yeah, and I don't even think the Saints, like, that is because Devontae Adams played with Derek Carr, not
right.
The Saints would actively go out there and.
Tell me you can't see the Jets making this move. New York splash owner wants to, I mean, everything's all, you're all in. I mean, as much as you got a Cowboy owner who says we're all in.
Like that's the one where I'd be good. You can show up and be productive.
What would you give up? So a second and what? I don't know what the Raiders want.
He's 31 years old too, man. And you have to figure out that much money?
You got to figure out the money.
You're not getting a first-round pick out of this dude.
No. I know you're not getting a first-round pick.
Like a second would be, all right, where I'd say, all right, we'll deal with the money after this. But
what if they say a second and Braylon Allen?
Say peace out. I'm fine.
Yeah,
I think Garrett Wilson.
Yeah. I think that's right. If it's second and a piece, if you want to give me somebody number 2 on a depth chart somewhere, I'm listening to you. I think that's right. So that just came down as far as where he wants. Well, no kidding. I mean, that's what I told you when we started the show. That's where he'd like to go. You don't always get. It was Mick Jagger who told me that. You can't always get what you want, but you get what you need. So that's that.
And I do think it is so fascinating because I wouldn't even be anxious to make this move if I was Washington. Like, why would I have a quarterback that's efficient, that's moving the football, and all of a sudden I'm going to bring in a guy that I'm going to have to scheme targets to and take away?
I got to feed.
Yeah. This, like, and I don't think, like, Jaden Daniels is there yet. Like, it works. Because I know one of those questions was, oh, no, Stephon Diggs going in to Houston. Well, Tank Dell's been hurt, and he immediately went in there and became the wide receiver 2 with a quarterback that can feed those targets to Nico Collins, Stephon Diggs. I just don't see a lot of good destinations for Adams other than if it's one of his BFFs and Aaron Rodgers.
All right, text line. Tigers were in the World Series in 2006 and 2012. Appreciate you. Thank you. Terry says Pac-12 could SMU leave the ACC since they agreed to take no money for a number of years? No. I mean, if they signed on to the grant of rights, doesn't matter. And the ACC is not letting anybody out. The ACC, because of their battle with Clemson and Florida State, they're not setting any sort of precedent to let anybody out of their grant of rights. I think the ACC stuff is clad. And by the way, why would SMU leave the ACC to go to the PAC? Because once they do start getting a revenue share, it's going to be more than the PAC gets anyway. Why would they leave a power conference to go to a conference that thinks they're going to be a power conference but isn't going to be? Look, as much as I really like some of those schools in the PAC, and one of them is my alma mater, and 2 of them used to be power schools, this whole fan base thing that we're going to add Memphis and Tulane and we're going to be a power conference, they're delusional. We're going to cobble together a bunch of non-power schools, and that's going to make us a power league, an autonomous league. I think they're delusional. I think they're optimistically delusional. I think they would love for that. Well, we shed the bottom weight. We don't have New Mexico and Wyoming and Tulsa anymore. So somehow now give us what you got. And somebody's going to say, oh, yeah, okay. How are you figuring it? Like I get that you feel you upgraded. Okay. But how do you think you're the ACC or the Big 12 right now?
You're not, but those schools feel that they are, that this is what they needed to fulfill that potential of sliding into being power schools.
Being whatever the hell they think they are.
They just needed the rebrand and to get rid of the ankle weights. And then the rest of the college football universe would realize, oh, these were power conference schools all along. that just had the unfortunate scheduling of having to play Nevada, Wyoming, and New Mexico and San Jose State. And now without those teams, championship.
Yeah. All right, when we come back, I gave you the places that Davante Adams wants to go. Report just came out on the places who have already shown interest in Davante Adams. Who are they? What might they give? John Traub at 9:30, the general manager of the Isotopes. On the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Join 95.9 up.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong and we're still as local as red and green.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Spell, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mirror here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am an Air Force Special Warfare.
The Cowboys and Jets have made contact, according to The Athletic.
How about them Cowboys?
How about them Cowboys? They couldn't afford Derrick Henry, who was, what was it, 6 million, 8 million? What was his number? But the number next year on this guy is 32, 36. What did I just tell you? 36 million. We couldn't afford Derrick Henry. But this is a nice, shiny toy for Jared. I mean, so that's where you are, dude. That's where you are in regards to interest in Derrick Henry, and you knew the Cowboys would get involved. They're going to throw their name in there. All right, Omar's in. He says, reunited, and it feels so good. Jeff, Omar is back on Dallas Cowboys bandwagon for one game and one game only, simply because it's Pittsburgh Steelers, and they're the focus of evil in the modern world. I've hated them since 1975. Bradshaw, Swan, Mean Blow Green, Jack Lamb, etc. Them and their fans at Three River Stadiums can choke on their Super Bowl rings as far as I'm concerned. It's from Omar. There's the vitriol. There you go. Mike says OD quarterbacks equal OD PT. Jeff Alou, you know how OD asked before Lobo basketball season, where's all the playing time for these hyped recruits going to come from? The OD doesn't ask that, by the way. It's probably you. So, it comes from these emails. He says, it reminds me of summer when the OD's talking about the plethora of NFL quarterbacks in week 4, wondering what we're watching. Like last weekend, is Chase Daniels available? Can one of these teams sign Chad Henne? That's actually pretty good. We sit around, everybody's set at quarterback coming out of camp. Oh, they're good. Oh, they got a good young quarterback. And then your week 4, it's like, damn, dude. Is it going to be Skyler, what's his name, or what's his name, Huntley? Right? Injuries.
Yeah.
Gene wants to know when John Traub joins us coming up here at the bottom of the hour at 9:30, the general manager of the Isotopes. What's going to be different for Albuquerque's AAA franchise next season, Jeff, after finishing as the worst AAA club by a mile? The offense has shown some building blocks this season, but the defense needs a complete reboot. This is a unique place. You need to come up with a scheme that can win this league. From Salt Lake that wants to spread you out and hit you over the head at a mile high to Round Rock who wants to establish the run at sea level, you got to find a system that the other clubs don't see every day that puts Albuquerque's AAA franchise in a place where they can be successful. Thank you, Jake. See what he did there? He summons his inner Bob Davey on that to give you that. Yeah, it was a rough season on the field. No doubt. No doubt it was not good for Albuquerque's Isotopes this year. John will talk about next year coming up in a little bit. I wanted to hit this, and I told you yesterday, and again, wherever you feel on it, but I just want you to be aware that this is a story. Yesterday, I told you that UNM's volleyball team had decided that they will play their scheduled volleyball match against San Jose State, correct? That there's a story that there's, and you asked, is it factual? Do we know for sure that there's a transgender player on San Jose State? It was a San Jose State player who came out and claims that there is a transgender player on her team and that she wasn't told about it. Boise State last week forfeited their game against San Jose State. They said they will not play against a transgender athlete. This came out yesterday from Wyoming Volleyball. It was a statement. It says, after a lengthy discussion, the University of Wyoming will not play its scheduled conference match against San Jose State University in the Uni-Wyo Sports Complex Saturday, October 5. Per Mountain West Conference policy, the conference will record the match as a forfeit and a loss for Wyoming. The Cal girls will host Fresno State on Thursday, October 3 at 6:30 in the Uni-Wyo Sports Complex. This has basically come down to, like, San Jose. You didn't know a thing about San Jose State volleyball. You didn't know, and probably didn't care. But now, it's like every game where they play, are they going to play? They're undefeated. And again, I'm not going to get into a political conversation on this, how you feel about it. I told you my feelings yesterday. But it really comes down to, JJ, do we know for sure that this athlete is transgender for certain? And I haven't seen one thing. It's alleged. Nobody's, said, oh, yeah, absolutely. I think, we're I think you and I are aligned on this. Is that right? Kind of in our thoughts. So, like, be who you want to be. I don't care what somebody wants to. It doesn't affect me. I know a lot of people feel differently, and I respect that. But I do think there's a line that there's a definite biological advantage as a genetic person who was born male does have biological advantages over a person born female. That's why we have men's and women's sports. That's why ladies' tees are up. That's why, just go look at the times in track. And the men's times are better. I don't know that we're arguing that. And so my feeling is genetic men should not be playing women's sports. But that's not fair to those people. You're right. It might not be. But it's not fair to the women against whom that person is competing. And to me, it's a majority thing whose rights need to be protected. And at some point, I think the majority's rights need to be protected. And that, I think you and I are aligned on that, right?
Yes, we are.
Okay. So this is just a ongoing story. Blair Fleming is the athlete on San Jose State's team. A junior at San Jose State. Played at Coastal Carolina. San Jose State put out a statement yesterday. It said, quote, "It is disappointing that our SJSU student athletes, who are in full compliance with NCAA and Mountain West rules and regulations, are being denied opportunities to compete. We are committed to supporting our student athletes through these challenges and in their ability to compete in an inclusive, fair, safe, and respectful environment." End quote. That was the San Jose State release. Another member of their team, her name was Brooke, her name still is, Brooke Slusser. She joined 18 other athletes suing the NCAA over its current gender identity policy. The lawsuit alleges that Slusser, who transferred to San Jose State, felt concern for her safety. She's a teammate after realizing one of her new teammates was transgender. She claimed that she was not aware that Fleming was transgender, despite sharing rooms together on team trips. And so she's suing. And she expressed safety concerns playing against Fleming. In this complaint, it says, quote, "Brooke estimates that Fleming's spikes were traveling upward of 80 miles an hour, which was faster than she had ever seen a woman hit a volleyball. The girls were doing everything they could to dodge Fleming's spikes, but still could not protect themselves." End quote. Look, I'm not there. I don't know. But again, this comes into the competitive This story, I'm just telling you, is going to blow up huge this week. It was a blip last week when Boise State said we're not going to play. Wyoming said they were not going to play. New Mexico said they will. But I think the more and more traction this gets, the more people that hear about it, this is going to become a sports political story. And just, again, want you to be aware of it. You can have your opinion. You're always welcome to it. You're welcome to share it at 505-246-0610. That's the text line and the phone line, or via email. But just want to let you know, and it's in your league, and I want you to let you know what's going on. Anything else? We're good on that? All right. When we come back, John Traub's going to be with us. He is the general manager of your Albuquerque Isotopes. They released their 2025 schedule last week. We'll talk to him about the season just concluded. We'll look forward to the home opener. I'll give you the date and some of the cool things that they got next year. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Dirty Boys present Fill in the Holes, Albuquerque's newest and...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro View. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on Pro View Networks.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, taint, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Today, Detroit and Houston. That'll be your first game. 12:30 our time is on ABC. Tigers won Game 1 in Houston yesterday behind a terrific pitching performance by Tarek Skubal. 3-1 Detroit. Astros need to win to stay alive. The next game will be the other American League game, 2:30. It's on ESPN if you want to watch it. Kansas City at Baltimore. Royals were 1-0 winners yesterday. Cole Ragans with a terrific outing. He went 6 innings, shutout. Orioles need to win to stay alive. The next game will be the Mets in Milwaukee, 5:30 start over on ESPN. Mets were winners yesterday, 8-4. And then the Padres will try to close out Atlanta. Michael King, 7 shutout innings, 12 strikeouts yesterday as the Padres were winners 4-0. That game will be in San Diego. Locale, as some of them like to call it, 6:30 on ESPN2. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta and J.J. Buck around here. Isotope season came to an end a couple weeks ago, and now you're looking towards next. You think they just get to sit around and put their feet up and count their money? No. They're already looking towards next year, which is always great. Got some highlights for you. Actually, I don't. The general manager of the Albuquerque Isotopes, he's got the highlights for us. He is John Traub. He's with us this morning on the Sports Animal. Good day, sir. How you living?
Good morning, Jeffrey. How are you guys doing today?
Excellent. Thank you. Congratulations on at the end of the season. On the field, obviously, it was a struggle. I think off the field, it was another really good year for you guys.
It was. We led the league in attendance for the 3rd straight year and in the top 5, I think, of all of minor league baseball again. So, it just goes to show what a great baseball community is and how much they love coming to the ballpark to watch professional baseball. And, yeah, of course, we didn't win as many games as anybody would have wanted us to, including us, including the Rockies, including the fans. But you know what? We have no control over that. What we have control over is the promotions and the special events and hopefully the atmosphere and the type of experience that fans have. And we try to be consistent in the way that we deliver our product. And fans have responded. And we really appreciate that. We never take it for granted, as hopefully folks know. And we try to raise the bar, which is, we're sitting here in meetings constantly just going over what can we do better next year, what can we do differently, what can we do to increase the level of entertainment and the fan experience. So it's something that we're always challenging ourselves to do, and we're just so appreciative of the support that we get in this community.
It's always a good time, and you do everything in your control. I think people need to understand, and I know the people who care about the winning and losing, I think they do get it. But you don't control players. You don't control the roster. That's done by your big league affiliate, the Colorado Rockies, and so they're the ones who determine rosters and who's up and who's down and who's here and who's not.
Sure.
When it comes down to winning, though, man, I know you want to win, and it's been a long time, and people want to see a flag. This was a tough year on the field, and I think it's a testament to what you do and the baseball fans here that you can still lead the league in attendance and have such a rough year on the field.
Yeah, I mean, we don't want rough years on the field. It's awful from a lot of perspectives, and the Rockies know that. And shoot, they don't want it either. They've experienced that in Denver. It's not a great scenario, and that people know that it is a. You look at somebody like Kansas City. I think the Royals had 106 losses last year. They've made some changes and now they're in the postseason. I'm not saying something like that is going to happen overnight, but we want to be competitive. And for a large portion of the second half of the season, the team was competitive, just like a year ago, right, where we came out of the second half gates like gangbusters. That's awesome. The Rockies have had some success at, their Spokane club. At High A, won the league championship. Hartford, the AA club, went to the Eastern League playoffs this year. They did not win the league championship, but what this is showing is that they do have some talent that is competing at the lower levels. Hopefully that will translate here and at AAA and in Albuquerque, and we'll be able to start having more competitive day in and day out types of games on the field. It comes down to pitching, it comes down to free agents, it comes down to a lot of things. But like you just said, and I said, we can't control that. So we're affected by it certainly, and we let our friends in Denver know how it does impact us. But bottom line, we got to make sure that hot dogs are hot and the beer is cold, and that the Mariachi's games are great, and that the giveaways are awesome, and that people have a good time at the ballpark.
He is John Traub. He is the conductor of the Good Time at the Ballpark, the general manager of the Albuquerque Isotopes. With us, the director of fun, with us on the Sports Animal.
Well, John, you guys have hit home runs on so many of those promotions that are now yearly with what you do, but what's the brainstorming like of trying to find that next one, or what could one-up anything you've already done?
Well, I don't think we necessarily want to say, look, we want to one-up this. But what we do is, first of all, we listen to the fans, because during the course of the season we get a lot of feedback from fans, some of it good, some of it maybe constructive or negative in terms of, hey, we wish you guys would do X, Y, or Z better or differently. So we listen to those things. There's certain things we can try that are possible. Certain things maybe aren't as possible. But we talk as a staff throughout the whole year about different things, different ideas. And if it's Isotopes games, if it's other special events that we're having in the ballpark, or, how do we make Tuesdays better throughout the season, or how do we make a Friday night better? Well, these are things that it's just a constant evolution. And we have a couple of huge announcements coming up in the near future about some things that we're doing. And I'm excited to see how people are going to respond to that. We try when we make these announcements or when we're making this planning, it's like, well, how would the fans, respond to this? It's not just what we want, but what we try to do, quite frankly, is to be, we try to remember what it's like to be fans ourselves. What was it like when we were growing up going to games, or currently now, if we are customers in other, of other businesses, if we all go to restaurants, we're always customers. So from a fan standpoint, from a customer standpoint, that's the perspective that we try to have. And okay, I think that this is a good way for us to go, or introduction of a new, whatever it might be. How do we think this is going to go? And we have the freedom in our industry to create different types of inventory, or to think outside the box a little bit and to experiment. And it doesn't mean all the experiments go well. Sometimes we do things and they just fall flat on their face, and then we pivot to something else. But, we've got a good group here that puts a lot of thought and energy into making things fun for the fans, and hopefully it results with sunny weather and a good time. For
you can't control the weather either? Damn it.
I lost all my hair doing that, though.
Yeah, that's how it goes. As my good friend Archibald Cummins used to say, he's Mr. Taub. Mr. Taub, and you want to be the pronunciator at the baseball game. You got a lot to pronunciate about. You got Father's Day home next year, July 4th next year you'll be home. April Fools will be your first home game. You got a schedule that came out. How do you feel about it?
Well, overall, I feel really good about it. We're only home for one weekend in the month of June, which really jumps out when you look at it. But we've had that happen before, and generally that weekend is huge for us because school is out, or it's a Father's Day weekend. People love coming to the ballpark. So we're planning some fun things around there. We're home on May 4th. May 5th is a Monday, and as everybody knows, we no longer play on Mondays. So we're going to be doing a Quattro Day Mayo celebration on that Sunday afternoon, which will be a really cool pre-Cinco event. But if you look at our schedule, I would say that the highlight would be the fact that we're home July 3rd and 4th for only the second time in our club's history. 2021, when we're coming off of COVID, we had the same situation. But since, I guess, quote unquote normalcy has come back, this is the first time we've been home on the 3rd and the 4th, and that's a Thursday, Friday. We're also home on the 5th, so that should be a really nice weekend for people to come out to the ballpark. It's a pretty well-balanced schedule. We open up on the road in Sacramento before the A's play their first game there, so we won't really be impacted by a lot of baseball being played on that field every single day throughout the course of the year because, as everybody knows, Sacramento, the ballpark where the River Cats play, is hosting the Oakland Ball Club, or the A's. I'm not sure what we're calling them.
What are we calling them? The Northern California A's? Is that? Honestly,
you something. I don't know what
Golden
it is.
State.
And then we end the season at home with a 6-game series against Reno, finishing on September 21st. So we have 75 home games, 75 road games. Like I said, pretty well balanced. We have a 12-game homestand in, when is that? I think it's in August, maybe late July into August. then we have a 12-game road trip at the end of June. So there's a lot of opportunities, as there always are, for people to come out and,
John,
enjoy the ball games and all that kind of good stuff.
The 6-game series and Mondays off, that's not trial anymore. That sounds like that's just the way it's going to be from now on.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything different. I think overall, people in the industry, from the player development side, the major league side, the scouting side, I think people have accepted it, and there's a lot of efficiencies built in. There could be some tweaks relative to some interleague play moving forward, but it may be on a limited basis. And I know in this year, in 2025, rather, there are a handful of interleague matchups, but it really has more to do with the direct flights and minimizing layovers and travel conveniences for teams between the Pacific Coast League and the International League. So, pretty much because of our geography, we're not really part of the interleague play concept for this year, but that doesn't mean that down the line that something may grow from that. But it'll be a nice little experiment that Major League Baseball is doing this year.
All right. You watched the playoffs yesterday. What jumped out to you? Pitching?
Boy, well, you look how the Mets played after that doubleheader the day before. It's all about pitching. And, oftentimes that's what happens in the postseason, right? But I thought there were 4 really good games. And I had a couple of them in my office yesterday and just watching them. And I thought, boy, that Houston-Detroit series, what an interesting start. And because you have such a short season, there could be some quote-unquote upsets in that first round as they go into the division series next week. And it could be, I think, and a lot of people have said this, there's 12 teams in the playoffs, and probably all 12 have an opportunity to really advance and go to the World Series. So should be an interesting time for sure. But I thought they were really good games. Really impressed by how San Diego played last night, and I don't have a horse in the race. I just, you always want them to be good competitive games, and for the most part, it was yesterday.
Yeah. Lastly, and play I don't know, MLB Insider a little bit, and I know you have this would be a gut feel on you. Is it possible Alex Bregman plays his last game as an Astro today?
Wow, I hadn't really thought about that, but sure it's possible because he's a free agent, and I know he has said that he wants to go back to Houston, but you see him linked to other clubs, and that's all speculation. But I think there's a chance. I think Sam would have to buy a different color shirt and maybe get rid
like
of
a whole new wardrobe.
Yes, he would. But Alex has really become synonymous with the Astros over the last decade, and it would be weird to see him in a different uniform. But come on, how many people are playing their whole career with one club anymore?
There's not a lot of Tony Gwynn's.
I would not be surprised if there's he's wearing somebody else's uniform next year.
It's so bizarre because he's been such a piece of that community. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's in how he would be embraced, and then where would he go? And look, I think he's up for a payday. I really do. His $100 million deal is up, and I think he's up for a big one. And I think the guy's in his prime, and he's clutch, and this will be interesting. All right.
I agree with you, and I hope. Look, we've all known the Bregman family in this community for a long time, and Alex grew up at this ballpark, and we knew him when he was a little kid. And why don't you want to have the best for whomever? And we wish him well, and whatever happens. But there's a big part of me says that he stays in Houston. I mean, he's a cornerstone of that franchise, and I could definitely see him staying.
Yeah, feels that way to me too. All right, ABQ Isotopes is where everything is. Anything you got coming up that people should know about, aside from the schedule released yesterday?
Thursday night, Friday morning, we're going to have another huge announcement. So as we go through the off season, there's a few benchmarks that we hit. So I guess that's actually technically tomorrow, right? Today's Wednesday, so keep an eye on things tomorrow night and also on Friday. Got a lot of fun that we're going to be bringing forth here in the next few days.
We'll be watching. Always appreciate the conversation.
Thanks, fellas. We appreciate everything.
Be well. He's John Traub, the general manager and big dog over for Isotopes. So looking forward to next year already.
Already.
April 1, home opener. Father's Day, 4th of July, 3rd of July, 4 de Mayo.
All the fireworks.
All the fireworks.
All the fireworks you can handle.
Oh, that your eyes can handle. We'll wrap you up. We come back. Everything you got to know as you go through your Wednesday on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
This is Boomerang.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
What's going on? Who are you guys?
Well, sir, I'm going to pick you up at the DWI checkpoint for drunk driving.
And that's when I have to come down to get you out of jail.
Well, temporarily. I'm Judge Torres. They call him the Hammer. Hey, hot off the presses, champ.
I'm real proud of you, honey.
Way to make them happy back home, Captain. Who's that? That's your new buddy in jail.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro View. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on Pro View Networks.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. Our law firm was founded by my father, Thibaut J. Chavez, with one goal: to get New Mexicans the help they need. That's why we built a different kind of law firm. We focus on family values, dedicated service, and we make a real contribution by giving back to our communities. We can't change what happened to you or your loved ones, but we can help you get back on the road to recovery. We're by your side, and we're still as local as red and green.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services.
Win today to extend. Tigers beat the Astros 3-1. Royals beat the Orioles 1-0. Both those road teams were winners. Another road team in the National League, the Mets beat the Brewers in Milwaukee 8-4. Padres, the only home team to win yesterday, beyond Michael King's 7 shutout innings. 4-0, they beat the Braves. So you get games today at 12:30, 2:30, 5:30, and 6:30 as Major League Baseball's playoffs continue. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta and J.J. Buck. 505-246-0610. Howard, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Good day, sir.
Good morning, gentlemen. How you doing today?
Hi, Scrubin. What's happening?
Kind of looking at the coaching carousel in the NFL, wondering who you guys think might be the first fired coach of the year. Do you think it might be Sirianni or my boy McCarthy?
I think you got to put your boy Robert Saleh up there, too. I would put Sirianni before McCarthy, just because I don't think Jerry is what do you look at?
I don't think McCarthy is close to getting fired in season.
Yeah, I think it would be Sirianni, Peterson. I think Doug Peterson might be your first in Jacksonville.
Yeah. JJ, I got to disagree with you, man. Realistically, the Cowboys should be 1-3. They stunk up the joint last Thursday night. They just happened to have one category with more a better numerical value than New York did, and that was the points. Otherwise, they got outplayed tremendously by the Giants, I thought.
Jerry Jones doesn't fire coaches in season.
Yeah, he oughta.
He
oughta, because
Is that gonna make Micah Parsons play better? Is that gonna make Lawrence be available after his 8-week injury?
Yeah, you got a point there. Okay, I'll give you guys another one. Who's your front runner on Coach of the Year?
Kevin O'Connell.
Quinn or Tomlin?
O'Connell.
O'Connell?
Vikings.
Okay.
Vikings.
Yeah, well, I guess I overlooked him a little bit, but I really thought, the Commanders are overachieving. I think Pittsburgh's overachieving, although the Broncos did hand them their first loss. But, I think the NFL's been pretty entertaining this year. I've seen a lot of parity. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, no, a lot of parity. And look, when it's all said and done, it might be Dan Quinn. Like, if they end up winning, they being the Washington Commanders, if they end up winning the NFC East, Dan Quinn's certainly going to be one of those candidates. But as of now, 4 games in, what Kevin O'Connell's done with a guy that people thought was on the scrap heap, a throwaway quarterback, and they're one of the only. There's 2 undefeated teams left in the NFL, right? Kansas City and Minnesota. As of now, my answer is O'Connell. Now let's see. By the end, you may be right, but as of now, that's where I would go.
That's it. And you guys were talking top wide receivers a little earlier, and you guys left out Jared Goff, man. Come on. Didn't you see that touchdown catch? I mean, that was just phenomenal. Hey, I sent you guys a message on a link for a Netflix movie called Resball. That looks like it's a good watch. There's a trailer there, too. Yeah. Got to take a look at it. It was based out of New Mexico.
Yeah, it's a terrific watch. It's a really good one. Yep. All right, man. Good to hear you. See ya.
Take care.
I mean, I don't know. Early coach of the year, it's easy, right?
Yeah, Kevin O'Connell.
Yeah.
4-0.
Marty, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Marty.
Well, if we want to crown him, I always say. Let's just crown him after 4 weeks.
Yeah, we're not doing
Why do
that.
we get down after 1 week, My son's the same way. He was like, the Broncos, they're horrible. They're 2-2.
Yep.
Let it play out. Yep. Jesus Christ. We're already giving Jaden Daniels MVP. I mean, this is, to me, all this takes the fun out of sports.
Does it?
It does. It does for me. I just let it play out. I know it's speculation. It's talk. It's the way it's kind of how we live now. We check the internet all the time for updates, but it's just got to let it play out. It's, and then the Chiefs, they're 4-0, and they've struggled just about every game, which is impressive to me because once they get clicking, I'm like, here comes the three-peat. But I don't know. The Commanders have impressed me, but they also squeaked by the Giants.
They did.
Right? 'Cause the last caller was talking about how the Cowboys got lucky to beat the Giants. I'm like, I don't know. The Giants average 1 yard rushing. So I don't know if I just think the Cowboys played better. It's just week to week. We'll see what we got. Give it to about, I'd say, Thanksgiving, then we pretty much know what we've got.
All right, fair enough. Appreciate you. All right. I don't know. It's kind of what we do, though. Right, that's the guy who invented, right? Marty's the week-to-week league guy.
The week-to-week league.
Right? He's the initialist week-to-week league guy. And so every week, and his son and you and me and everybody else, we react week to week. Yes. Every week to week we react. Because, well, it's kind of what we do because they only play once a week. You can't do it in baseball because it's every damn day, right? Can't do it in basketball. That's what football is. All right, who you got tonight? Who wins? Who closes out? And who? I say the Padres close them out tonight. I think the Astros stay alive, Baltimore stays alive, and the Mets close out the Brewers.
Oh, man.
Look at the pitching matches.
I'll go Houston, KC, Milwaukee, San Diego.
All right, we agree on all but one. Thanks to John Traub, big dog over at the Albuquerque Isotopes. He was with us today. Tomorrow, Jerry Palm, CBS Sports, is here. Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowards after that. Two Men On's in at 4. We're back with award-winning radio starting tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Adrian looks great. Always looks great. He does a hell of a job on the visuals. Big day for you?
Huge day.
Enjoy it. Hey, be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll smell you tomorrow.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.